Welcome to today's deep dive. What if the reason you can't lose that sudden belly fat in your 40s has absolutely nothing to do with your willpower?
Right. It could actually just be a biological false alarm going off in your immune system.
Yeah, and that brings us to our topic today. We are looking at a digital weight loss blueprint called Wake Up Lean. It's a 10-day program created by personal trainer Meredith Shirk. And the entry fee is surprisingly low, just $15.
Which is a really striking contrast to the massive expensive commitments we usually see in the diet industry.
Exactly. So our mission today is to figure out if 15 bucks can actually buy a legitimate biological reset for stubborn belly fat, or, if we're just looking at more fitness marketing hype.
Well, before we look at the diet itself, we really need to understand exactly who this is built for. The materials target a very specific demographic, which is adults over 40 who are suddenly waking up with unexplained bloating, low energy, and that stubborn abdominal fat.
And the sales page places the blame for all of this squarely on something they call inflammation enzymes, which, honestly, that term feels a bit like a mechanic looking at a complex engine failure and diagnosing it as car badness.
Yeah, that is a great way to put it. It is pure marketing speak. But the underlying physiological process is actually very real.
Wait, really? So what is the actual science behind that?
In clinical research, it's often referred to as inflammaging. As we age, chronic, low-grade systemic inflammation tends to naturally increase, which puts the body under constant stress.
And that triggers cortisol, right?
Exactly. Think of cortisol as a biological winter is coming signal. When it floods your system, it actively forces your body to hoard fat, specifically around the vital organs.
Just as a protective measure against that perceived chronic stress.
Yes, and that is your visceral belly fat.
Okay, so if the body genuinely thinks it's in a state of crisis, typical diet advice like grueling hour-long cardio sessions seems completely counterproductive, right?
It is. Forcing an already inflamed body through intense physical stress would just trigger more cortisol.
So since this age-related inflammation is a real hurdle, how does a mere 10-day program actually fight it?
Well, the program relies on an anti-inflammatory diet, a strict no snacking rule, and surprisingly short 5-minute home workout videos.
5 minutes. It's like waking up your metabolism with a gentle nudge instead of a blaring alarm clock.
That's exactly it. Physiologically, 5 minutes is enough to stimulate muscle fibers and get blood circulating, but it stops short of crossing the threshold into a systemic stress response.
So you avoid the cortisol spike that locks the belly fat in place. But what about the diet? Going cold turkey on snacks sounds brutal. I mean, do users actually stick to that?
Well, the no snacking rule ties directly to insulin, which is the core lever of human metabolism. Every time you eat, even just a healthy handful of almonds, your body releases insulin into the bloodstream to shuttle that energy to your cells.
Right. And you physically can't burn stored fat while insulin is present.
Precisely. By eliminating snacks, you stop those constant insulin spikes and create long, uninterrupted fat-burning windows. But you're right, the drop-off rate can be high when that afternoon craving hits.
I mean, yeah, for a $15 investment, I imagine people just quit.
They do.
Yeah.
Looking at user feedback, many people actually end up modifying the plan to include one small planned snack just to keep their blood sugars stable enough to survive the day.
That makes total sense.
Right.
Now, if you manage to survive that rule, what exactly are you getting for your $15? Because the marketing claims you can lose 5 pounds in 7 days.
Right, and we know biologically that cannot possibly be 5 pounds of pure fat in a week.
Right, so how is this working? They have this 24-hour flushing protocol, right?
Yes. The flush works by aggressively stripping out heavy sodium and common inflammatory trigger foods for 24 hours. When you remove that excess sodium, your kidneys are forced to release all the subcutaneous water your body has been retaining to dilute it.
Oh, so that initial 5-pound drop on the scale is almost entirely retained water and just, digestive clearing.
Exactly. Realistic fat loss under optimal conditions is only about 1 to 2 pounds in this time frame.
So you aren't buying a brand new body for $15. You're essentially buying a 10-day risk-free trial run to build better habits and drop the bloat.
It is an incredibly low-risk entry point. If you're over 40 and standard calorie counting has completely stopped moving the needle, this offers a psychologically manageable time frame to test whether systemic inflammation is your actual hidden roadblock.
Which shows you don't always need to drop hundreds of dollars on a massive lifestyle overhaul just to decode what your body needs.
Absolutely not.
It leaves you with this to think about, though. If a simple 10-day dietary tweak can drastically alter how bloated and sluggish you feel just by quieting that internal inflammation, what other normal signs of aging are we blindly accepting that are actually just diet-driven inflammation in disguise?